She should have almost the whole table, I think, from
Well,
Samanash would be very nice there, I think. Referments planning to come as well, I know. Baruch Hashem.
it's the 30th of September, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos, Rosh Hashana davening.
Thank you. As Lou mentioned, this is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here, Yeshiva Samanash, who is showing care of Zoom. Our first share this morning. Good morning, Mary. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning, Lou.
Morning, Mayor.
So, yeah, as Lou mentioned, we're going to continue on with our Musaf prayers of Rosh Hashanah. We're in the section known as Zichronos. All the things we say on Rosh Hashanah are very, very significant. And so what little we can do to prepare, it's to our benefit. What we can do as much as possible. So here we are. And we pick up with okay, maybe let's start when it's about Ashri ish shelo yishkachecha. Yeah, that's a pasuk also. And many of these are psukim in Tehillim. And this is even before we get to the body of the each one of the sections, the three major sections of the Musaf, Malchus, Rechonis, and Shofros. So each one consists of 10 psukim. 3 psukim from the Torah, 3 psukim from the Nevi'im, and 3 psukim from the Ksubim, and one final one repeating another pasuk from the Torah, Kedoshim. And this is just a Hagdama. What we're doing now is just a Hagdama to that section. So yeah. Let's take a look. Let's pick up from that point, and we should maybe think why this is, what possible meaning is it that this pasuk is included here in the liturgy of Rosh Hashanah? Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Mayor or Lou would like to read a bit.
I'm not even sure where we are.
Okay. In the course of davening.
We're about 2 pages into after it says Atah Zocher.
Okay, so I see that. That's the beginning of Zikronot.
Right. So go about 2 pages.
Okay.
Ashrei Ish.
Okay, hold on. Ashrei Ish. Nope. Okay, let me go back a page. Still don't see it. Huh. And it's a pasuk, Ashrei Ish.
Yeah, well,
it should.
in my book, it's not called out separately. It's just part of the text on the page.
Okay, I don't want to hold you up. I just can't find it. So,
all right, why don't I start reading and you can keep looking for it.
Okay.
Or you can just listen.
Yeah.
Asher ish shelo yish kachecha. So my English says praiseworthy for Ashrei is the man who does not forget you. Ben Adam yis metz bach. A human being who strengthens himself through you. Ki dorashecha le'olam lo yikashelu, because those who seek you forever will not stumble. V'lo yikalmu l'netzach kol ha'chosim bach. And they will not be humiliated eternally, all who take refuge in you. Ki zecher.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just think why. How do these few sentences relate to what we're trying to accomplish here? It does. I tell you, this doesn't seem to be a pasuk. This is amazing. Doesn't seem to be a pasuk. I thought it would be a pasuk, but apparently it's not. I
don't
haven't
have
looked at
any
it.
footnote that indicates it's a pasuk.
Interesting. So you have to try and understand who composed this pasuk, right?
Right.
So that's one basic question.
Good question.
That's the It could have been the Anshe Knesset Gedola.
Right.
And if it was, we have to question why did they include this in the davening for Rosh Hashanah? This kind of underscores what we mentioned earlier in the very beginning, that when we say Zachrenu, like we may think superficially we're asking God, well, he should remember us, but that's obvious clue for us. It's obviously not necessary. Because Hashem, as I said, Hashem knows more about us than we know about ourselves. So here, this might be underscoring that point. Ashri ish shlo yishkakecha. Fortunate is the man shlo yishkakecha, that does not forget you. We may be saying Zachrenu, and superficially it seems like we're asking Hashem not to forget us. But really what we're doing is trying to talk to ourselves, I think, that we shouldn't forget Hashem. And now, what's the difference between a ish and a ben adam? We see there are two different expressions used here.
Well, ish is a powerful word. It's somebody is an ish. That means he's very chashuv. He's wise. He's maybe a tzaddik, whatever. It indicates a high quality person. Whereas I would think that Ben Adam is just a normal. It's not. There's no connotation of greatness involved associated with it.
Right, it's very good. Ben Adam is simply a reference to his biological origins, let's say, right?
Right.
So there's no real advantage. There's no real Mila. No real excellence in that. There's no real excellence in that. He's simply a Ben Adam. He's biologically related to Adam Rishon. So that doesn't really speak very highly about the person himself at all, no?
Right.
Whereas you said right correctly, Ish, that's a person. The person's, he has some type of essence to himself, which is of some value, of some accomplishment.
Right.
Now, what does it mean? Is Amitzbach? Is Amitzbach? How do they translate that again? I don't have the English translation in front of me.
Who strengthens himself through you.
Yeah, Oimitz is like strength,
Right.
fortification, maybe confidence. Do you think the Ashrei is going on both of these? The Ish Lo Ish Kakecha and the Ben Adam is Amitzbach? Ashrei is going in both of them?
Yes.
Apparently, no.
Yeah. Well, there's a vav in front of Ben, which would seem to connect the two parts.
That's good, very good. Okay. So that apparently is going on both. Okay. Okay. All right, let's continue on a bit.
He zecher kol hamaasim lefanecha ba. Because the remembrance of all of the works, of man come before you. Vata doresh maasei chulam. And you analyze all of these deeds. V'gam es Noach. This always puzzles me. I'm glad we're reading this. Where does Noach come all of a sudden? Noah, but it seems out of place. V'gam es Noach b'hava zacharta, and also you lovingly remembered Noach.
Right.
Latif kadehu bidavar Yeshua v'rachamim, and you and you recollected him with the themes of salvation and mercy. V'acha es me hamabul l'shachet kol basar mipnei roa ma'alehem. When you brought the waters of the flood to destroy all flesh because of the evil of their deeds. So here we are, all this we're praising Hashem, I guess, and then we switch gears to talk about how Hashem was merciful to Noah.
Right. It's a sort of like what you would say an abrupt transition, right?
Exactly.
Right. So possibly, I just want to check Parshas Noah. Let's see. Okay, very good. Very good. If you have your Chumash there with Chumash Bereshis, let's look at the pasuk in Chumash. That would be in Parshas Noach, Perek Ches, the first pasuk there in Perek Ches of Parshas Noach and Bereshis.
Okay, Ches. Vayizkor Elokim es Noach ve'es kol hachaya ve'es kol ha'behema asher ito bateva vaya'aver Elokim ruach al haaretz vayishoku hamayim. Okay, so God remembered Noah and all of the beasts and all the domesticated animals that were with him in the ark, and God caused a spirit to pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. Bye-bye, Judy. Have a good day. Should I read on, or is that what you wanted?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So this expression Yizkor Elokim es Noah, this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time this expression that a Kadosh Baruch Hu remembered was used in the Chumash, and that was first applied to Noah.
Right. Oh, that's interesting.
So, so that's very, very significant, because you had, as we learned in the fifth parak of Pirkei Avos, there were 10 generations from Adam until Noah, 10 generations. So in all those 10 generations, there was no mentioning in the Chumash of the Kadosh Baruch Hu having a recollection or remembrance of anyone.
Right.
So that has a lot to do with us. That we we are we're in the state of forgetfulness, as the Rambam points out, as I mentioned a few times last week or so, that the Rambam mentions that we, during the course of the year, we, because of the details and the pressures, distractions of daily life, so we forget about HaKadosh Baruch Hu to a greater or lesser extent. And on Rosh Hashanah, we have a chance to come back and pay close attention to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So it could be that this reference to Noah is there in order to have us remember clearly that you would think that Kadosh Baruch Hu created Adam Rishon, and then things kept going on automatic. But it wasn't so simple. The whole of humanity was destroyed at the time of Noah. It was only he and his 3 sons and their wives. They were the only ones that were allowed to survive.
Right.
And we're here, we exist because of that mercy that the Kadosh Baruch Hu had on Noah. So it's important on Rosh Hashanah to focus on that point that, hey, we're here through the mercies of the Kadosh Baruch Hu, right? And that should open our eyes and our hearts to serve the Kadosh Baruch Hu even more, right? That if we realize that we have a greater debt of gratitude than we would normally think, it's tremendous. It's more than enough. If you just think about a person individually, that if he was born, he was created as a fetus, he was born, he was fed by his parents, clothed and changed, kept warm. He grew and matured. He was given, in general, most cases, a healthy body, functioning body. He's up on his feet and running around, doing all kinds of things. And how many people are really devoting their energies to serving Kadosh Baruch Hu? It's good to remember that we have a debt to pay to a Kadosh Baruch Hu, a big debt of gratitude, not just personally, but collectively. If Noah didn't make it, we wouldn't be here. Right?
Right.
So at least once a year, it's good for us to try and remember that.
Well, based on this revelation of the connection between Noah and remembrance, so I can see why Noah would be very central to the section on Zichronos. I wonder now
Exactly.
why he's not mentioned earlier.
So as we said, like as this apparently is a beginning of a transition, right?
Right.
So up till now, we've been describing how HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, so to speak, remembering all and evaluating everything, and then we come to the conclusion of that. Ashrei Aish Lo Yishkachecha, right? Ben Adam Amitzbach. So now that because we just got through saying Ashrei Shlo Yishkachecha, fortunate is the person who's not forgetful of Hashem, right? That's the greatest thing we could possibly try and do is to bear in mind HaKadosh Baruch Hu at all times. That's the very beginning of the Shulchan Aruch.
Right.
Shavisi Hashem the Negdi Tamid, right?
Yeah.
That's how the beginning of the one of the very opening points of the Shulchan Aruch, and that's a that's a command, that's a law, right? Now, Shavisi Hashem the Negdi Tamid, so that might seem to be a tall order, like always having a Kaddish Baruch in mind, like that's pretty
Intense.
apparently true. But after all, we have to think that Kaddish Baruch did create us with a lot of brain power, right? And so I'm not saying it's an easy thing, but certainly if it's in Shulchan Aruch, it's not just a good idea, right? It has relevance in terms of actual way of life, right? Actual way of life. So at least on Rosh Hashanah, if see there's a thing about Rosh Hashanah. The 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, it's sort of like being in a spiritual Fort Knox, right? There's a lot of extra ruchnius, a lot of spiritual power lying around on Rosh Hashanah, waiting to be picked up, right? That and why is that? Simply put, it's because we on Rosh Hashanah, one of our main concerns during Rosh Hashanah, our main thoughts on Rosh Hashanah is what we call is to be mamlech HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to coronate HaKadosh Baruch Hu over us, right? To place HaKadosh Baruch Hu, his sovereignty over us. Now, so in a very basic way, what we're doing with on Rosh Hashanah, all our prayers, all the wonderful songs that we sing, right? Basically, it boils down to, as if we were standing there at the coronation of a king of Basar Adam, and we're singing, "Long live the king! Long live the king! Long live the king!" Right? That's basically what we're doing on Rosh Hashanah to a great degree. We're just saying, long live the king. That we're hopeful and joyously proclaiming Kadosh Baruch Hu as king over us, and that really means a lot. If we make a Kadosh Baruch Hu king over us, and now it's free for the taking, like the world the way it is, Kadosh Baruch Hu places everybody, Jews and a lot of the non-Jews alike, in the world, in which, as this is the Marcel Shasharim is saying this is not just my own idea. So Shasharim says clearly in the very early part of the Sefer, he says the Kadosh Baruch Hu places a person in Olam Hazeh, in the physical world, which is a place where there are many distractions and many interferences with the Shama to reaching its spiritual aspirations. Right? The neshama has certain spiritual aspirations which it's forced to fulfill. And this is what, if you remember the Sharat scene we saw yesterday, where Chafetz Chaim was explaining about Yonah, right? So the neshama has spiritual goals and aspirations that he must achieve. And the world is a place that is designed to interfere with that, right? It's supposed to be resistant to that. And then the soul, right, is supposed to devise ways and means of, in spite of the difficulties and distractions of those things in Olam Hazeh which are detrimental to the neshama's spiritual goals and aspirations, the neshama will, it's primarily through Torah, the wisdom and the guidance and the light of Torah that is there to guide the soul in navigating through this very dangerous physical world. So it's possible. And on Rosh Hashanah, it's like as I said yesterday, that you reset your compass, like you realize that how far during the course of the past year, how far have you been going off course? Like, in the space missions, they have mid-course corrections, right? They realize, they have the trajectories planned, right? And then how it's supposed to go, but it doesn't always work out exactly 100% perfectly. So they have built-in mid-course corrections because they have to make those mid-course corrections. So on Rosh Hashanah, it's basically in terms of our trajectory in life, Rosh Hashanah is a time for a mid-course correction, right? So if you use Rosh Hashanah to make that correction, right? So you get back on course, right? But if you're running a space mission, right, and it comes time for the mid-course correction, so if you do it, that's good. That's very good. You're back on course. But let's say you don't do it. So what happens is you get further and further off course, right? And sometimes you could get so far off course that you're not going to have enough thrust to make the proper mid-course correction to get you back on course, and you may never get back on course. Right? So that's this previous statement we made. Ashrei ha'ish shelo yishpechecha. Fortunate is the man who doesn't forget you, meaning he's making mid-course corrections all the time. When we say Shrisi Hashem Negdi Tamid, what that really means is, right, you've always got your attention on a Kadosh Baruch Hu and what he expects and wants from you. So you're always readjusting what you have to do in life based on that basic requirement that you understand and accept that Kadosh Baruch Hu is your king, and you have as your general mission in life to be a loyal servant of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, right? And then simply after that, you just have to find out the details of what's required of you. So again, like we mentioned yesterday, keeping the Shulchan Aruch, that's basic. That's like we said yesterday, it's basic training, right? That's just, if you want to be in the army, you have to know how to tie your army boots, right? You have to know how to load your gun, right? That's just basic training. Once you got the basic training, then you can start going on missions, right? So Shulchan Aruch is just our basic training. Well, you start doing that, and then once you're doing that, then then you can now start working on what's your exact mission. And Rosh Hashanah is a time where we get our assignments. Yeah, we get our assignments. HaKadosh Baruch Hu evaluates us. Well, let's see. Did he accomplish his mission last year? How many missions did he fulfill? How many missions did he go on? What was successful? What was not? And we're evaluated, and based on our previous successes, we're going to be evaluated for the coming year. So so this now mention of Noah is a transition, and it's very appropriate because as we see from the pasuk that was the first time that Hakadosh Baruch Hu, so to speak, reveals to us that Hakadosh Baruch Hu, so to speak, spent extra attention to a person, one particular person. Hakadosh Baruch Hu, so to speak, and you see tremendously, that Hakadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Noah. He told him to build a teva. He, Noah himself, in fact, did build the teva. He went into the teva. He was there for 12 months, sealed in from all the destruction around him, right? So you see, Noah was privileged to a high degree of divine hashgacha, divine supervision in his life, and we're all attached to that. I wouldn't, as I said earlier, if it wasn't for Noah, we'd all be gone. We wouldn't be around. What would be, I don't know, but it wouldn't be what we know now. That's for sure. Okay, let's yeah, we have some time. Let's continue on.
So I just want to make a comment that
Sure.
I don't know where I'm going with this, but just a thought was that if I were writing this, I would have started out with Noah, because we just established Noah is the penultimate example of remembrance. He's the first time that remembrance is mentioned in the Torah. And we know that the first time something's mentioned is very significant. So I would have started out and I would have said, Noah, you lovingly remembered, this whole sentence I would have said. And then I would have said, Ashrei, happy is the person who remembers you, blah, 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 blah. It would have been more, it would seem to me it'd be more in context of what we're talking about.
Uh-huh. Right, I agree. But I think the answer to that is, I think and this is probably all, I would imagine this is all composed by the Anshe Knesset Gedolah, that they, as the Gemara says, Anshe Knesset Gedolah, they composed our brachas, the Havdalahs, many of the other things that we do, Kiddush Levana, for example, many of these things which are done, the Anshe Knesset, because when we came back from the first Gullus, they understood it was necessary to set Klal Yisrael on a more standard, uniform type of loyalty in keeping mitzvahs, Torah mitzvahs. So they codified and standardized many of the things which were not really standardized previously in earlier generations. So I think what they probably wanted to do first was give introduction to a Kadosh Baruch Hu first, right? That let's first focus our attention on the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and then we'll slowly get to Noah, and we'll have to see where the rest of the liturgy takes us. But that's what I would think. They want to give a special mention to a Kadosh Baruch Hu first before Noah.
Right.
I'm gonna be a little bit later tonight, 'cause my wife is working. Does the fax work? To
I
make a
don't know.
fax?
I don't know. Oh, man, it's good. Um, so that's how I think I would answer you, Lou, in terms of like true, Noah is definitely the the primary focus, but I think before that we have to first focus on the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and then we can now secondarily have to focus on Noah.
Right.
That's what I would answer your point.
Yeah, good point, Rabbi.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's continue. We have a few minutes. Yeah, we still have some time. Let's have another good 5 minutes. Let's see how far we can go with this.
Al Kain Zichrono Ba Lefenecha Hashem Elokeinu. Therefore, remembrance of him must be remembrance of Noah. Came before you, Hashem, our God. Laharbos Zaro Ke'afros Tevel, to multiply his descendants like the dust of the world. V'te'etzav kechol hayam, and his offspring like the sand of the sea. Kakasuv b'sorasecha, as is written in your Torah. The Yizkor Elokim es Noach, Hashem remembered Noach. Ve'es kol hachaya, ve'es kol habehema, asher ito b'teva, vayaver Elokim ruach al haaretz. And this is our pasuk we just read. Hashem remembered Noach and all the beasts and all the domesticated animals that were with him in the ark, and he caused to pass, and God caused to pass a spirit over the earth. Vayash oku hamayim, and the waters subsided. V'ne'emar v'yishma Elokim es na'akasam v'yizkor Elokim es riso. Hashem heard their groaning, and Hashem remembered his covenant. Es Avraham es Yitzchak v'es Yaakov, with Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Now this I think coming from the Mitzrayim.
Right.
So we switch.
We're jumping about 14 generations now.
Right. Okay. But I guess the unifying idea is it's eskor, which is remembrance. So it's the same
Right.
the same theme that we're culling remembrances out of the Torah for this section on remembrances.
Right. Very good.
V'ne'amar v'zacharti es brisi Yaakov v'af es brisi Yitzchak v'af es brisi Avraham eskor v'haaretz eskor. As it says, I will remember my covenant with Yaakov, and also my covenant with Yitzchak, and also my covenant with Avraham. I will remember, and the land I will remember. So there's a lot of remembering in this sentence. This second to the last eskor is redundant. It says, I will remember my covenant with Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, and also my covenant with Abraham, I will remember. Don't have to say that again.
Right. What's the repetition?
Right.
Mhm.
I will remember my covenant with blah, blah. I will remember. Uvdivrei kodshecha kasuf lemor, and
I just want to make a point. But it says here in the pasuk, "V'zacharti es brisi Yaakov, vav es brisi Yitzchak, vav es brisi Abraham es Kor." They make this. They make the point that it mentions Zacharti by Yaakov and Zachor by Abram, but when it comes to Yitzchak, it's not mentioned anything about Zizkor, is there?
oh, that's an interesting point.
Right. So I think it's even a medrash, if I'm not mistaken, that the medrash says since for all intents and purposes, Yitzchak by the Akedah, he would have been sacrificed and he would have been burnt as an oiler. So all those potentials reached their maximum fruition without actually it happening. So it was created and it was considered as if it actually happened. So I think it's the Medrash that mentions that in fact, since the Akedah was considered to be as if it was done, so you don't have to. There's no necessity, so to speak. Again, this is all in terms of our expressions in language to try and make it make sense to us. There's no necessity of a zikaron by Yitzchak because the Akedah, so to speak, is always there before Kadosh Baruch Hu. So there's no necessity, so to speak, of a zikaron. But again, the Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't. There's no forgetting by Kadosh Baruch Hu. He knows, and he knows everything, past, present, and future. So these concepts are there only for us to try and understand them. That since the Akedah was considered to be actually done, so that act is there continually in front of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. So therefore, it's not necessary that there be a zikaron. Only in terms of those things which are not there directly, so to speak, in front of Kadosh Baruch Hu, we need a zikaron for. But the Akedah Yitzchak was already considered to be fulfilled, and therefore that's considered to be always in front of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, and therefore there's no need to mention about the word zikaron by Yitzchak Avinu. Bli Neder, if I have a chance, maybe I'll take a look in the course of the day if I have a chance to see the relevance to that in terms of the difference in the expressions zikaron by Abraham and zikaron by Yaakov, but not by Yitzchak. If I'm not mistaken, it's a medrash. Okay. Fine. Okay, good. So let's take a little break in the meantime and start Mishnah Berurah shortly.
Thank you, Rada.
Thank you, Lou. That was very good. Thank you for the reading. Really appreciate it.
Yes, yes, Chicago.
And
Rotier, my pleasure.
very good. Fine.
All
Hope to
right,
see you
stay
soon,
with
both.
it.